on Reese Development, trying to figure out. I promised you last week, hey, I'm going to tell you what Reese Development and their ownership group, they're giving me the exclusive. They're telling me what they're going to bring to the Strip. Well, I talked to them last week, and I was very surprised. I was very impressed with how genuine they seemed. I've got a editorial that'll be coming out this week. Actually should publish before this actually comes out. It's a breakdown. It just kind of tells you everything from the grant that they're currently applying through for the city of Lake Ozark to help with the demolition. It talks about the things that are important to them, because we're not just talking about one destination on the Strip, I've learned. It's not just like an oasis or a arcade. They're talking about the future of the city of Lake Ozark, and they're interested in improving roads and working with the city and infrastructure and development. And so I'm learning it's a very long play. This is what I understand for Nick Reese, who I really like him on our initial encounters. This is a legacy project for him, and he is very important to him as he grew up coming to the Strip. Him and his wife, who are expecting their first child, they actually moved on the Bagnell Dam Strip about a year ago, so he's local now, and he has memories like so many of us coming to the iconic Bagnell Dam Strip as a kid, and he said, listen, keeping the nostalgia intact and paying tribute to that is super important. And he also said thank you to the locals for your input, your advice, your recommendations, because that is important to our group. And so I found him to be very genuine. I don't think this is about profit. This is something for Nick Reese, that legacy. When I say that, I'm thinking that his kids and grandkids will get to see the fruits of their labor, their investments, their hard work for the community. And so on my initial reaction, I am really fired up about what they're doing. And I'll have more in this editorial.
Yeah, he kind of has confided in you what the long-term plan is, what he's got in mind and everything. So that's cool. That's really interesting.
He also teased on what you can read in that editorial. Some of the stuff they're planning to do immediately with some of the signage and some of the iconic things where you're like, what's going to happen there? And so they've got some plans, and they're sparing no expense. And the things that you've been asking for, I think you're going to be surprised when you see some of those might actually come to fruition. Of course, you can check that story out on my William Holtz Lake TV Facebook page. It's an editorial written. We're going to take a stab at writing articles as well. So, all right. They did announce on Lake Expo this week that they already started the demolition of the Feast Real Estate building. Yeah. You see that?
I did, and that was before my time, so I didn't know what that building was.
Before you were at the lake, let's be clear.
Yeah, recognizable A-frame structure was torn down on Monday, April 8th, part of the renovations they're doing down there and raising some of these properties. And as someone who grew up spending summers on the Strip in the 90s, rest assured, we will be saving any important nostalgia, Nick Reese said. So like what you just said, he has got that in mind. He's not just going in there to blow it up and forget history. He wants to remember all of that. Yeah. So they've torn down a lot of stuff already. The Rebel Arcade, the batting cages, those old buildings along the Strip, Two-Bit Town. Yeah. I think they're all down, and there's more coming with that over the next. Well, I think they're planning more for next year too, right?
Yeah, this is not just right now they're going to tear some stuff down and you're going to see something built immediately. We're talking 15, 20 years of growth and investment, and you'll see lots happen from my understanding. Now, I thought it was cool in Lake Expo's article. They brought up Russell Burdett, good friend of Lake TV's. He owns Your Lake Vacation, and he actually said his mother worked in the office in the 70s when Feast was a big name on the Strip. Don Feast owned a significant portion of the tourist-focused businesses, and they actually said he owned all of Two-Bit Town, the Rebel Arcade, the batting cages, and all the buildings that were along the Strip that got torn down already, which is cool because you think of those iconic areas, and that Feast, not Reese, the Feast Real Estate building was actually one of the iconic leaders of development and tourism on the Strip. And so their building getting torn down is almost like a turning of the guard, kind of significant and symbolic in my opinion. So I thought that was cool, and I'll be excited to keep you guys posted and to follow that because, again, Chris, I don't feel like these guys are just about the money. I'm sure they want to make money, but I also feel like they really want this to be part of their legacy, part of their forever plans, and they really care about this community.
So they do have plans for these, these lots that they're cleaning up right now. But in the interim, they say they plan to use the sites for special events, concerts, vendor villages, extra parking, and family-friendly events like carnivals and stuff. So that's in the short term, and then they've got plans, permanent plans for it long term.